Concord players are very mad at Marvel Rivals.
Oh my god. How is this real? How the fuck is this real?
What players? Yeah, that's a good question.
As you may know, some of the modern audience types have been very upset at Marvel Rivals. And I recently saw that Concord players, yep, believe it or not, there's actual Concord players that exist. And they're also very upset at Marvel Rivals. Of course, there's probably a crossover between the modern audience types and Concord players.
There's not a crossover. If the Venn diagram was put together, it would be a circle.
And we'll get to all that in just a minute. Let's start here, though, with a little history. 8 months ago, this post on Our Girl Gamers, titled, "Can we just throw some backlash at Marvel Rivals?"
Fat! Oh, fat! You know she's fat! Oh, God. Oh, shit! Oh, no. Fake comment, by the way? Yeah, there it is. You can't say that? No, you're right. You can't, yeah, guys, we can't say that. We can't say that. It's not.
I love how they gave it a serious flair. That just makes it more funny. I've been on the fence so long with Overwatch for years. It has diverse male body types, and then female characters are copy-paste with a bare handful of diversity.
Yeah.
And these diverse female characters are given such a little amount of attention in cosmetics.
Why do these girls complain about all this stupid shit all the time? Oh my god. I feel like anybody that gives people, anybody that throws these people a bone, like you're totally, like, you should never do that. Never do that.
They don't care for them. Now I'm watching Marvel Rivals go down the same path. The female characters are all tall, slim, and busty, with a good deal of skin, while the male characters are fully covered, minus Hulk and the Fishman. Namor. It's so clear that they only just care for straight...
The Fishman. Well, there's the Fishman. Oh, God.
Male gamers. At this point, it's just a slap in the face.
Yeah, what about Jeff? Yeah, what about him?
They know.
I mean, this is a... What about Groot? Yeah, I mean, Groot's not wearing any clothes. Shit.
What they're doing. It's disappointing since the MCU did such a good job making women less objectified.
Venom,
Fans of the MCU will be playing this game. Very few people read the comics in comparison, making it accurate for them as a joke. Oh my gosh, that's got to be one of the most pathetic things I've ever heard. They need to appeal to MCU fans only. Forget the comic fans. Don't make things accurate.
They do appeal to MCU fans. They have skins for the different characters that match the identity. Like, you know, for example, they have like a Scarlet Witch skin that looks like Elizabeth Olsen for Marvel Rivals. It's not even it's not even true. Like this is, yeah, wow, what a surprise. The girl that calls Namor Fishman doesn't actually know what the fuck she's talking about. What a shock.
For them, as if there would even be an MCU without the original comics. And they end the post by saying, "Can we just start making noise on these issues?" You know what, that's also one of the lamest things I've ever heard.
So let's start screeching. No, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares anymore. People cared. People pretended to care 5 years ago. It's exhausting now.
Who talks like that? We need to make noise. Can we make noise on this? And what's their noise supposed to do anyways? Like, wow, some unhinged people on Reddit are mad. Yeah, I'm sure NetEase is really going to care about that. I feel like I just
imagine like them tagging like the fucking Chinese developers and them reading like, what? Yeah, I don't speak English either. I don't know. Not even think about it.
waited a
even think
decade for
about
my
it.
dream Marvel game, and now it's pretty much implied that this game isn't for me.
Karen's
Well,
yelling
that
into
sounds
the
like
sky.
great news for everyone else. Imagine being stuck in a lobby with someone like that.
Yeah.
The most upvoted comment in that thread says, "Consider my noise added to yours. Just
Jesus Christ. Great. Just tell me where to complain. Like, is this like, are these Charmeleons that are going to, like, they're all like in their 20s or maybe like 30s, and by the time that they're 40, or what is Charizard's like 36 or something, he evolves. Like, they're 36 or 40, they evolve fully into a Karen, and then they start screaming at the barista at Starbucks. Like, this is like they're halfway. Like, these are the girls that used to like cancel Minecraft YouTubers whenever they were teenagers. Now they're young adults and they're trying to cancel video games, and then they're gonna become adults, and then they're gonna try to get mad. No, really, this is it. They're like Pokemon.
tell me where to direct it." Another top comment says, "Yeah, who would have thought that League of Legends did it best? It's so weird. We've had
How many
AAA
fat chicks are in League of Legends? As far as I know, pretty much zero.
games with diverse women for ages, and here we are, 5 steps backwards from that."
What's she
And
even
then people
talking
would-
about? Like, if I go look at... None of these girls are fat. What's she talking about? It's not even true. Like, maybe there's one fat one? I don't see a single... It's just total bullshit.
argue about League of Legends also being problematic. So yeah, I just thought that was all pretty funny. I hope you enjoyed that one too. You know, aside from the brain rot stuff.
Jesus
and now on to more
Christ.
current posts from only 3 days ago on the subreddit for Concord. The post titled, "Any Concord fans try..."
You can't be mean to them. They're an endangered species, okay? They can't be hunted. You have to be nice. If they go extinct, then we'll run out of content. Anything they say is completely true.
Rivals yet? I'm curious what impressions the fans of Concord have about Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
I'm considering giving it a try, but Concord holds a special place in my heart, and I'm hoping Rivals shares similar qualities.
This
And the
guy's gotta be a fucking troll, right?
EOP apparently a top 1% poster over on our Concord. It's a real Concord diehard right here.
Oh my god.
The top response reading, "It plays nothing like Concord. I personally
God.
don't like the movement or shooting at all. And don't get all the hype and praise it's getting. If you want similar gameplay to Concord, Destiny 2 is your best bet.
Oh,
but the
God.
PvP in that game is basically unplayable, unfortunately, but the PvE is still good." They'd get a response that reads, "I feel like the majority of the hype and praise it's getting is just because it's one of the first good online Marvel games to come out in this entire period of MCU box office domination, which is waning. And a lot of people who are unhappy with the
Dude, the last MCU, when did Endgame come out? It came out in like what, 2019 or 2020? Right? Yeah, it's been 5 years, man. It's been 5 years since the last good Marvel movie came out. It's over. It was before COVID. Deadpool, though, that's different.
Overwatch trying to signal boost a competitor, the game itself feels pretty dang unpolished and unbalanced compared to Overwatch and even Concord."
Yeah.
And this different top comment says, "Why did Concord have to die and Marvel Rivals gets to live? It's not as fun as Concord by a long shot. I hate this timeline."
Oh, God. Oh,
no. I just... How does this have...
They'd get a response that says, well, charging $40 when literally every hero shooter is free was a very big misstep.
So true.
A response to them reading, being free wouldn't save the game, buddy, and Marvel Rivals isn't having success because it's free.
No, it's
This
not.
whole chain of comments then especially set off the Concord diehards, who began to go full aggro and get very defensive, which you'll see coming up. As user Pass Foundations would respond to that other user Desfert, where Desfert had essentially said that Concord being free wouldn't have saved it. Pass Foundations responding saying it's one of the main factors of its demise. And that's where we get Desfert saying, yeah.
This guy's getting banned. This guy's about to get banned on the Concord subreddit. They've got to get rid of this guy right now. Like, it's not even, like, what are we talking about here? They got to take him out to the back of the barn and shoot him. Like, this is bad. Are there even any mods in there?
Now tell me the difference. How much longer would it last?
They're the ones that mod all the big Reddits.
When the game had a free beta, it only hit 2K and kept dropping players. Basically kept the same issues from the beta, and then it died only a few weeks later. It doesn't make a single difference to paint a ship with other colors. If you don't fix the holes, it'll still sink. Desfert then going on to list a number of reasons why they believe Marvel Rivals is successful, and concluding by saying, seriously people, stop thinking free-to-play is the answer for everything. It just shows how clueless you guys are. No. Yeah, some of them might be clueless, but I think a lot of them are also in complete denial. During the whole Concord saga, the whole Concord arc, we saw so many of these defenders ignoring, for example, the whole like DI stuff that Concord had. And it wasn't even that they didn't recognize it was there. It's like they wouldn't admit that it was there. They would just do everything they possibly could to dodge how DI negatively.
I think that was really funny too. And I think the funniest part about it was the fact that all of these other people who were like all of the journalists were like trying to like talk around the elephant in the room. And they were trying to say, like, yeah, Concord, so the character designs, you know, they were really controversial. And then the release of the game, and then some of the map variations were the reason. Like, they're like constantly trying to, like, not say the real reason why everybody fucking hated it. You know? The fattest elephant there was. Yeah, bro, that was a whale.
Impacted Concord because, hey, they got to do everything they can to defend that corporate policy. Very pathetic. Then we get this hilarious cope that says Concord failed not because of its design, gameplay, price, or quality as a game, but because it became a target in a culture war. From the moment it was announced, discussions about the game were dominated by negativity. Critics labeled it as dead on arrival, woke, or trash, before there was even a beta or gameplay footage.
This person is partially right. The first impression of Concord was so negative that it shaded the entire perception of the game into the future. Yeah, no, they're definitely right, because once people make up their mind on something like this, they don't want to change it. So, but that's not our fault? Well, it is, but I'm not sorry. I mean, if you want people to have a better first impression of your game, make a better first impression. It's not really that hard.
This constant negativity overshadowed the game itself. Despite being fun for those who actually played it, few people gave it a fair chance. The backlash was so intense that even liking the game invited ridicule. In the end, more people criticized Concord than actually experienced it, which made it...
That's true. More people... I made more money making videos about Concord than Sony made making Concord. That's crazy. Wow.
Possible for the game to succeed. This person is not taking into account how most people didn't even want to play Concord because the hero roster was terrible. It's like, oh, hey, guys, here's a bunch of losers you can play as. Yeah, gee, I wonder why that didn't work out.
Yeah, hey, you can play this fat loser, this weird girl with pink hair, or like a trash can. Take your pick.
There's another funny exchange with this user Irate Pirate who responds to the OP. Once again, the OP had asked if any of the Concord people had played Marvel Rivals. Irate Pirate saying, yes. In fact, my original plan when Concord was coming out was something like, I'm bored of Overwatch, I'll play Concord until Rivals comes out. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. It's pretty fun. It's not on Concord's level in my opinion, but it's fun. User Icy Ruins responding saying, Concord's level was so high that the game shut down immediately. A different user, Lum Sauce, then chiming in saying, y'all are still here. Figured you people would have stopped hanging around hating a few months after the game shut down, but I guess life moves slow when you have nothing worthwhile in it. And Icy Ruins responds saying that this post was recommended on their homepage. I also find it funny that Lum Sauce is talking about people still being here on the Concord sub.
It's like he's the one who's the loser when you're defending a game that's dead. Oh my god. It's just so... It's so fucking funny.
Subreddit, when that can also be applied to the Concord defenders. The game lasted all of 2 weeks and has been dead for months. And then hopping over to the Marvel Rivals subreddit, we've got this post that says, talk about bad takes. And then posting an image from Outlet the Gamer and an article that they made titled Marvel Rivals has too many heroes for its own good. You're probably familiar with the Gamer. Many channels, including mine, have talked about takes from that outlet, as they're the same type
They need to shut down every video game journalism outlet. They need to just turn them off. They just need to, like, what they need to do, so this is what needs to happen. Elon needs to convince Trump that we need a video game czar, and I want to be the video game czar. And what I can do is every single time that a studio is making a bad game, we can have Homeland Security come in and arrest them for terrorism. Just fucking send them to Guantanamo Bay. No, we don't need to hear about a story from these groups of people that nobody hears about before. There's a reason why nobody wants to hear about it. Nope. We're done. Crimes against humanity. Yes, exactly. Try them for a violation of, like, what's the cruel and unusual punishment amendment? Yeah, try them for that. Waterboard them until the game is good. Oh god.
Journalists who often try and call gamers problematic, and they're constantly getting offended at things. They were also being laughed at a few weeks ago during the Veilguard arc, as they made a number of articles attempting to defend Dragon Age the Veilguard, only to then later make one where they kinda walked that back a little bit after they saw the public opinion on the game was negative, and nothing these journalists could do would change that opinion. As many gaming journalist outlets, for example also IGN, did attempt to defend Veilguard and influence the public in a way that they completely failed at.
I do think that most of what they tried to do is influencing perspective rather than delivering, like, an objective opinion on things. They're not trying to be objective. They're not trying to look at things fairly. Like, I think that I was objectively fair with Veilguard. I think the game is a 6. I do. I don't think it's a 3. It's not a 2. It's not a 4. Maybe it's a 5. It's a 6. I've always been fair. I've never not been. It's hardly a 4. I think, and again, this is the thing, right? Is like, you guys know the interests that I have and the games that I have. That's where it is for me based off of my interest set.
Now, the Corpo Journos over at The Gamer are attempting to insult Rivals and prop up Overwatch, saying that Rivals should have taken more time with its roster, and making a very weird argument that Rivals has released too many heroes already, saying that people don't care about playing them well or trying to learn what their abilities are, which is obviously a really weird thing to say. Like, obviously people want to play their heroes well. They then double down on the argument that Rivals has too many heroes.
Bronze rank confessionals. Wow, what a surprise. There's a new game that just came out that people are trying and they don't know how to play the characters. Holy shit. That's crazy, right? Wow. So there's a new game that came out, people don't already know how to play it. Wow. Like, I've played the game for 74 hours. I have no idea how to play Kiriko. I kind of get it, I have a general idea. But, like, I don't know how to play a lot of characters. Well, I mean, yeah, some of you guys are saying I don't know how to play any character. True, also. but there's like a spectrum of this. Like, I really don't know how to play, like, I don't know, fucking Hulk. I have no idea.
Heroes and in the lead up
yeah,
to
I mean Psylocke. Yeah, whatever the fuck. Yeah, Psylocke. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, see? That's my point.
its full launch, more additions were confirmed for the roster,
see?
making it hard to determine who I'd main, and if I would even have enough time to learn all their ins and outs before release. Turns out that I didn't, and now the sheer act of playing Marvel Rivals is daunting. Once again, I find myself comparing it unfavorably to Overwatch. Yeah, this just sounds like a massive skill issue. I only started playing Rivals like 2 weeks ago, so not only did I not play the beta, but I also started it late technically. Don't find it daunting at all, it's a fun game. And I'm not even a great player, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I know plenty of people probably didn't play in the beta, and they're also having fun with the game, so I don't get what they're trying to say here.
That was a good one.
Except it seems like they're trying to make any excuse they can to try and insult Rivals and prop up Overwatch. Continuing, they say, Overwatch turned each new hero into a legitimate event. You would follow each update and tease with...
Yeah, that was whenever they had good heroes, but now they're adding in like these weird, ugly, stupid-looking heroes that nobody cares about. And so, like, you want to know why people were excited about Kiriko? Well, it wasn't because of the game Overwatch. I'll tell you that.
fervent anticipation, waiting to find out exactly what role they might fulfill and what they would look like. That won't happen when Rivals adds Sentry. Every new hero was unexpected, but for Rivals, it feels like we already have to temper our expectations after Nettie's jumped the gun on its A-listers. Yeah, so I think this point is just terrible. I'm actually a huge fan of the Sentry. He's probably my favorite Marvel hero. I like how he's a very flawed character.
The A-listers like Penny Parker, Luna Snow, and Jeff.
Character. I also like the whole Void thing. And then when he merges with the Void, I think that's one of the sickest character designs in all of comics. Regardless, the point they're trying to make here is that Rivals has already used the A-listers in comics, so the next heroes they release aren't going to be very interesting or compelling, essentially, which is beyond absurd. There's still so many A-list heroes that Rivals hasn't added. Comes off like they just don't know what they're talking about. Like, here's some, not including the upcoming heroes in Season 1 and not including villains. But we got, like, Cyclops, Kitty Pryde, Rogue, X-23, Blade, Jubilee, Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, Iron Lad, and Professor X. And they end by saying,
they have to do the Juggernaut. Please do the Juggernaut.
And I could be proven wrong.
That's the only, if they add him, that will be my main, even if he plays bad. I'm just going to play that. Gambit? I think Gambit will play like Moonlight.
Right now, I'm not very excited about new heroes to come to Rivals, because we are already dealing with an excessive roster.
Yeah.
There is no moderation and a desire to give players a temporary power fantasy, instead of easing them into things. This will only hurt the game in the long run, and feeling that way right now isn't a good sign. Well, considering that it's journalists from The Gamer saying all this stuff, then it probably is a good sign, actually. Generally, if you do the opposite of what these sort of gaming journalists say, then you'll be very successful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for this one. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments.
I think also the power fantasy in Marvel Rivals is not going to be as strong as Overwatch because there's more granular activities that you can do inside of Marvel Rivals. Like, there's more active abilities in many characters and interactions that characters have that Overwatch doesn't have. So core types of class fantasy and gameplay fantasy doesn't, there's team ups, etc., right? Like, well, what I'm saying is that, like, your individual class fantasy isn't the same way. And also, like, like Groot carrying around, like, Rocket or Jeff, that's really funny.
If you enjoyed the coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing. Appreciate you. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.
That bitch does a lot of damage. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, it's so silly to me. Like, I'll link y'all this video. This is really fucking funny. I can't believe that Concord players... Like, that's actually all I have to say.